Hello everyone, thanks for joining me. My presentation today is all about PTSD and neuroplasticity. Basically how trauma affects the brain and how the brain can adapt and heal over time. I chose this topic due to the fact that I feel like it connects deeply to the work I do and also the people in my life. Many of the young black men, student athletes, and students I support for my day-to-day life on campus and off campus seem to carry experiences that don't always get talked about. I also carry my own experiences that I don't talk about as often. I usually cover up or whatever, just to flow with the smiles of society. Give me a second, my computer turned off. So learning how trauma and healing show up in the brain is very imperative to me, and both personally and professionally. All right, the goals of this presentation are simple. First, I'll define what PTSD and neuroplasticity means. Then I'll show how trauma changes specific brain structures. I will also review research on causes, treatment options, and diagnosis, rates, and recovery as well. And finally, I explain how neuroplasticity plays a major role in whether someone develops PTSD and how they can recover from it over time. So what exactly is PTSD? So from my understanding, PTSD stands for post-traumatic stress disorder, as we all know. It develops when someone goes through something so overwhelming that the brain doesn't necessarily fully process it, from my understanding. And then also, based on the textbook, PTSD impacts the part of the brain that controls memory, emotions, and stress responses. People might relive moments from the trauma, avoid things that remind them of it, stay constantly on the edge, or feel shifts in mood and thinking. PTSD isn't something people choose. It's the brain survival system, stuck on high alert. And if you look at the image that I implemented into the slide, you kind of see how it's like everything is discombobulated, it's dysfunctioning. That kind of sums it up as far as like it affects the memory, the emotions, and stress as well. Let me unlock my computer again. I'm sorry about the noise as well. I'll turn it off. All right, so for our next slide, a real world example. When people hear PTSD, they often think about military veterans or somebody who went through some super bad experience, right? And yes, that's one example, but PTSD shows up in everyday life as well. In the communities I'm connected to, young black males, athletes, first-gen college students, whatever. A lot of people have been through difficult or unsafe environments. Sometimes it's a single event, but often it's repeated stress over years. Even if they're never given it a name, their brain and their behavior reflect those experiences. And that's why this topic matters. I know, just speaking from my own experience, I have an event. When they say that it can stem from one event, I definitely agree with that. Like, if I let that certain event keep replaying in my head, I kind of feel myself, getting stressed about those events and things like that, So I agree with that part. Next slide. So what exactly causes PTSD? PTSD, has a lot of different causes, as you can see is listed on the slide as well. The biggest one, of course, is trauma, but research also shows that early life stress, like genetics and even personality traits, can make someone more vulnerable. Support systems matter along the process of someone, dealing with PTSD. And people who feel alone after trauma are more at risk to start getting symptoms or start seeing that PTSD develop within themselves. And then there are bigger social and environmental pressures like poverty or living in unsafe neighborhoods that can cause PTSD as well. One of my peer-reviewed articles breaks these risk factors down in parts, in a clearer understanding. So what is neuroplasticity? The brain's ability to change. Neuroplasticity, is one of the most helpful concepts in neuroscience. The brain can change, it can form new connections, strengthens or weakens connections, and the basis for learning, and weaken ones that aren't helpful anymore. Our textbook explains that neuroplasticity is the foundation of learning, memory, and even recovery after injury or trauma. Yeah, after injury or trauma. So how trauma changes the brain. Uh, Trauma affects the brain in real physical ways. The amygdala, I forgot how Professor Jeremiah used to say it. Our fear center becomes super sensitive, constantly scanning for danger. The hippocampus, which helps us organize memories, can shrink or not function as well. The prefrontal cortex, which handles thinking and decision making, becomes less active, and it put all of I'm just gonna go with that. It becomes less active. So this is where the two topics really come together, where plasticity and PTSD connect. PTSD forms strong automatic threat pathways in the brain. If someone grows up with repeated stress, those pathways kind of get stronger. They get even stronger than they first started off as. But plasticity means the brain can rewire itself. It can learn safety again. It can create new patterns. It can heal trauma, changes the brain, but healing changes it as well. So treatments that use plasticity. Most PTSD treatments are built directly around the idea of plasticity. Trauma-focused CBT helps people build new thinking patterns. EMDR helps the brain reprocess memories it couldn't handle before. And mindfulness teaches the brain to just relax and be calm, and exercise increase growth in the hippocampus. I need to do more more, I'm sorry. I was going to read from the side. I need to do more exercises. And medication can support brain systems that are out of balance. The key idea is that every form of treatment is helping the brain rewire towards like healing, Recovery. Many people recover from PTSD, and it's definitely absolutely possible. Like I said, many people recover, but with proper treatment and support, around 50 to 70% of people see significant improvement. It doesn't mean the trauma disappears completely, but the brain learns how to live beyond the PTSD. And because plasticity exists throughout our entire life, healing can continue at any age. For the young people I work with, that message is powerful, I think, just due to the fact that many of them have gone through more than people realize, but I understand and I feel them as well because I was once there, And just knowing the brain can change gives not only me hope, but eventually when I'm able to let them know about this information, it gives them hope as well, So today, what have I learned? This assignment definitely taught me a lot, this is always the hard part, to just hound in on like what exactly I think I learned. But I think overall, what I learned was trauma physically changes the brain. I wasn't aware of that at first, and plasticity explains both damage and healing. And that was very interesting to me, how it can damage you and heal you at the same time, just like love. But course concepts made more sense, just overall, like neural pathways, stress responses, memory system, and brain structures. Now feel more real just due to the fact that I can connect them to like my everyday life experiences. And honestly, this assignment gave me more hope. It reminded me that the brain can heal itself, the brain can heal, and that the work I do with young men really matters, to really help these young men become better young men and help them get over whatever trauma they had to face while going through this beautiful life that we live. And yeah, at the end, those are a few of my sources. Thank y'all for watching this video today, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.